Hi traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table update with me, John, on this Wednesday, the 15th of November. Got a bit of a full board here today, some interesting sort of markets to take a look at. Kiwi, US dollar, topping the tables from a day trader's perspective. Yen still looking like a weak currency at the moment. We have profited on all our yen positions now, and also Euro Kiwi. Hit targets shortly after filming the video yesterday, so we're out of everything right now. We had a really successful couple of weeks really in terms of returns, so that's pretty good. And yeah, we're looking for the next sort of entry into a market now. So I'm going to take a look at a lot of these Kiwi pairs today. I'm going to potentially review a couple of the markets that we did yesterday as well, because one market we did take a look at was Pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi was top of our day traders table yesterday. So that was something that we were obviously very interested in taking a position in. However, it was at some daily resistance highs, and price has reversed from those daily resistance highs now, largely down to the fact that we've got a bit of negative data out of the UK. Negative in terms of announcements, because CPI year on year fell from 6.7% to 4.6%, and month on month fell from 0.5% to 0%. So some bearish news there. Obviously, we then had some bearish news out of the dollar yesterday. CPI data yesterday in the US came in a lot lower than expected as well. So there's been some developments in the markets in terms of fundamentals. So we'll go take a look at some of these pairs that are mentioned here. And I'm going to start on New Zealand US dollar. Obviously, there is a suggestion from the tables that we should be looking to go long in this market. I don't think this is a sensible idea right now. Let me just bring in my pen tool actually before we head on into the chart analysis here. Basically what we're looking at is the fact that price has come up into some key highs now. We can see that price has rallied into this area here. If I just go up to a daily chart, and remember what we talked about yesterday while we broke down that Pound Kiwi move, we talked about looking for price to come into key levels of support and resistance, and the areas that we want to be involved in the markets are around kind of highs and lows. Now, if I want to be long in the market, I want to be looking to get long at lows or on trending conditions where we get the sort of interaction with the 50 moving average on the hourly time frame or the 30-minute time frame. So if I want to be long this market, I don't really want to be going long into highs, right? We're at the highs now. This is an area where we could either see price breach it, okay, or we could see price reject it. We only have really two options when price comes to these types of levels. There is a third option, which it could go sideways, but in that case, we probably don't want to be involved in it anyway. So we need to wait to see what happens here. Are we going to breach the upside? If so, that then opens the door up to the next level of resistance, which would be another sort of high point, which we can probably mark out as this area through here. So if I just highlight these with a few labels, we can see that this is the sort of 6120 area. I can probably round that down to, I just want to see where 6100 comes in at, probably the low of that. So yeah, 6100 comes in around those highs, and let's see where we're kind of at now. So that area here is around about the 0.6050 is what I'm going to go for, that sort of half number in there. So we're obviously coming up into these quite key areas of support and resistance at the moment, so I don't necessarily want to be long here right now. The area I want to be long, if I just pop down to a 4-hour time frame, I have looked one or two areas of interest. So the first area of interest is obviously going to be, where's that swing low at? That swing low comes in around about the 0.5860 level. So that is an area, obviously, if price comes into, that we could see buyers step back in. If I go down to the hourly time frame, you can see how far price is away from the 50 MA at the moment. We're around about 100 pips away from that. So the trend trading idea here right now isn't going to make sense, because we don't have the price coming in anywhere near that average. The only thing that we could look at maybe is the 30-minute time frame, and the 30-minute time frame, the 50 MA is currently sitting around about the 0 spot 59.80 level. So we could look at that. There's an interesting low that's formed through here on this 30-minute time frame as well. We can see that after a sharp rally to the upside, we got a pullback and then a continuation. So maybe a move into here could be something to watch out for. The 50 MA might start to sort of curl over at that point. The 200 might catch up as well, and then that might give us the opportunity to trade long. But I think trying to get long here would be a little bit of a not necessarily a silly decision, but it wouldn't make sense to do. You know, if we got in long here, we've got to think about stop losses. Stop losses could be 50 pips or so, but then where's the target? And the extreme high is only a short sort of move away. It's around about, what is that to price? 18 pips. So 50 pip stop for an 18 pip reward, it doesn't really make sense to me. So Kiwi dollars on the list. It's top in the day traders table. I thought I'd give it an sort of an honorary mention, but it's not something I'm willing to sort of dive into today. On the other hand, Kiwi yen could look pretty decent. If I just go on to Kiwi yen next, we can see that if I just pop to the daily chart first to give you a little bit of context of what's going on, we came into these resistance highs here. Price did find resistance, but then found support at the daily low there. And we've now breached the area of resistance. So like we were looking at New Zealand US dollar, we're at resistance. This one has now breached through the resistance level and has given us one close above. If we get the second close above, that's going to be a stronger sort of alert that price could continue to push to the upside. Now, the next level of resistance on Kiwi yen, I had to go to the weekly chart and zoom out. I'm actually just going to pop it on a sort of line chart as well. So you can kind of see it a little bit more clearly. Let me just move it over here. I'm going to try and zoom in to try and get it all on one screen. Doesn't think that we're going to be able to do that. So immediately sort of level 91.40 is the sort of closing prices of that level. I was looking at the sort of wicks as well. So the line chart is always going to show you the closing prices. It doesn't include the wicks of the candlestick. So if I zoom in right here, I'm just going to unclick those two buttons and we're going to go all the way back to that point. So you can see around about this zone is where we could expect price to come into from a weekly perspective, and that is those kind of key highs through there. We also obviously have the swing highs as well that could come into the factor, but this is around about the 91 sort of 50 area and above. So anything in and around this level there could be something of interest. I'm actually going to stick it at 91.75, considering that's sort of the middle of this zone. So if we go back to current price, we're currently trading at 90.78. That zone is slightly above at 91.75. So there could be an opportunity to try and trade up to that point. So if we go to the hourly chart, again, we need to look for one or two situations, right? We need to look at either the trend situation, or we need to look for key highs and lows that we can look to work with. I'm looking at this chart and I can clearly see there's a wick down through here. Now, when you're looking at these type of areas, we want to try and identify areas where buyers have come back into the market. So we obviously were pulling back here at the time, and buyers started to jump back into the market. So that to me is an area of support around about that 90.20 handle. This would be a good area as well, because if price starts to pull back very slowly towards this point, it may be an area where the 50 moving average can catch up at that point, and that could be a look for a breach and close above the 50 MA for a continuation to the upside. So let's just say we were looking at this as a potential entry zone down through here on the hourly chart, and let's say we wanted to place our entry at that level of support, and then we've got sort of on ATRs, we're looking at 80 sort of 90 pips there. 3-week rolling ATRs looking at around about 80, and today's pips and gains is 54 pips. So if we're looking at maybe an 80 pip stop loss here, we're going to be looking at all the way down here. So at that point, it's not looking too great. To be honest, I would like to try and track my stop loss below the 200. Maybe we could expect it to try and come through around about the 89.75 handle instead. So maybe we go 89.70 on a stop loss, which is around about here. So if I just open, this is a cool thing you can do as well with this type of tool. If you just right click, go to properties, go to parameters, you can set your entry and take profit. So let's say our alert's going to be set at 90 spot 20. We could say we want to enter at 90 spot 30, and then we want our stop loss sort of between the sort of 89 sort of 70 level. I'm going to try and avoid that quarter number there. So here we go, we've got that trade sort of set up in here. So what I'm going to be looking for is if price pulls back into this level and breaches that level, we're going to look to buy if price does try and push back to the upside, and then we can look to target that 2, maybe even 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio there. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here, I think, on Kiwi Yen. I'm going to set my alert down here towards that 90.20. So let's just pop an alert in there, and we'll see if price can test that for a continuation to the upside. New Zealand yen, I think, out of all the sort of markets, is looking pretty good right now. Let's go check out Kiwi CAD as well, because I do quite like this market as well, because this is something we spoke about last week. We were looking to see Kiwi CAD longs coming into play, but we were at these key resistance highs. We can see the market is clearly in a trending a bearish channel moving to the downside. We then found some lows down through here. So let's actually apply some technical analysis here. These lows down through here seem to be the supporting point, and that area comes in around about the 0.7950 handle. So price obviously, or buyers obviously willing to trade prices higher at that point. That kind of coincides with these lows over here that formed from that sort of bullish run up. So it'd be interesting to see if price can continue to move higher now. Now the level of interest for buyers could be the next swing highs, which come in here around about this 0.8417 handle. I'll see where 84 gets us. It might drop a little bit too low. 0.84 would probably be a safe exit. Maybe even 83.90 would probably be a safe exit on something like this. But the important thing is that we're doing the right things in terms of seeing that buying coming in. We're breaching these highs in here. We're closing above those highs there. So I want to see if that can continue. This might be one to watch actually going into tomorrow's session, because if we get that bullish close there, we may get a pullback overnight, which may give us an opportunity to enter. So again, just similarly going down into the time frames, looking for those key areas of support. Obviously this zone down through here is going to be pretty important. That 0.82 could be something to watch out for as well. Quite like where this 50 MA is on the 30-minute time frame at the moment. We can see, again, very similar to Kiwi Yen, price has pulled back, we've extended to the upside. One thing I would want to watch is where does that level kind of come in. So the 0.82 does look like it would be a breach of that daily low. That's not something I really want to see. I want to see price kind of stay within that area there. So maybe we look at 82.30s. Let's go and have a quick flick over to the hourly again. Let's just see where 82.30 is kind of coming in at. 82.30 is kind of coming in towards these prior swing highs here. So maybe we just have to gauge this one via the 50 MA. I do quite like the support level down through at 82 area here. Maybe we look at maybe 82.20 for an alert. Oh, that's a sell stop order. That is not what I want to do. Sorry, misclicked there. I want the alert there. So we want to see if price will pull back towards this zone. Again, can we break that 50 and then close back above it, give us the opportunity to get long. If you're looking for a sort of an alert on this one, yeah, you're probably looking at, because we've got such good potential for this to move higher, probably looking at you could get away with having a larger stop loss with price coming below that 200 moving average. So that could be something to look for as well. But I do quite like this market. I think Kiwi yen's a little bit better. Obviously, we've got them sort of opportunity to see yen trade higher. So I like the idea of that market as well. Let's just go recap a couple of the moves then. So Euro Kiwi, we were long in and around this area here. We targeted up at this 82.70. That was a very good exit. Price has then since rebounded and moved 310 pips to the downside, so we did very, very well on that move, to be honest. This was all based off that daily time frame as well. Then we lowered it down into the 4 hour. We identified the 4 hour swing highs there. Price breached those highs before selling off, so we had a really good move into that one. So very happy there. That was 2R that came in. We also then looked, obviously, long on Euro Yen. The original trade hit that 3-to-1 target. The next trade as well would have hit 3-to-1. I came out a little bit earlier. I was having a discussion with Charles at the time. We were discussing that it was coming to the sort of end of that London session, so we wanted to see, or we expected maybe a little bit of a pullback to come in, so we just exited the position there, and obviously price did hit that 3-to-1 target anyway. But this could be another market that we just continue to watch now. We've got the 50 MA running through there. All we need to do is wait to see if price pulls back into it. Do we get a close above it? Couldn't that give us the opportunity to get long again? Still like the weekly chart upside potential on Euro Yen. So we'll just sit and wait. You know, all we need to do is look for those pullbacks, look for those continuation trades. So you can just maybe go to your hourly time frame here, pop a little alert down through that area. Quite like the sort of support through there, large buying coming in at that point. So maybe price is going to want to target here before doing anything else. So yeah, I quite like the yen pairs still. Pound yen obviously was onto a bit of a flyer as well, breached through that daily swing highs that we spoke about before, 86.50. So maybe we can again go to the hourly time frame, look where that buying pressure came in, which was down through this zone. Got the 50 MA there, but if price can come back down towards this point and find support, it could start to rally once more. Obviously the weekly on this one, I don't know the next sort of high here. We're kind of at that weekly high that formed back in 2015, so it looks like we're getting a bit of a rejection there. If we breach that though, it could go all the way up into 195, so yeah, definitely something we need to watch out for. So yeah, again, just watch that hourly time frame, watch to see price come back in. We'll also monitor the daily closes because that could be something. But for me today, I think that we've done pretty well recently, so we don't really need to jump into too much. But I think the best charts to watch at the moment are Kiwi Yen and Kiwi CAD, and I'll be looking to see if price sets those alerts off. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed the content recently, and I'll speak to you in the next one.